think we should be live. I think I know how to do this correctly. Please let me know if my microphone is on. There's a good chance it's not. There's also a good chance I don't have the right microphone on. Anything would be helpful. I don't even know how to see the chat, so I'm going to have to pull up my phone. I promise if I'm looking down the entire time, it's not disrespect. It's me reading the chat because I'm not well versed in any of this. I see we got 3 people in here, though, which is nice. If you want to hit the thumbs up, listen, go for it. If you don't, I don't blame you. I'm going to be here for like 30 minutes, give or take. I got places to be, but I'm here to answer some questions if there's questions to be asked. So, and also hopefully I'm not speaking into the void right now because it could be a tough look if the microphone isn't on. I'm just running it like this, so please let me know. Okay, if we're going to start with that, I'm putting on a real shirt. Okay, we're going to have to restart this show with some less scantily clad clothing. I'm doing well, Royal Awesome. How are you? Ball is life. Thanks for being here. The Great Gainsby. I'm not even talking fantasy football today. It's just going to be you guys like roasting how I look. I'm a big fan of it. Thank you, Jeff. The only real one out here telling me that my microphone is on. And you, Joe A. Bear. I appreciate you guys giving me some reassurance that I'm not speaking into darkness. I don't know who... Okay, I've never watched Sopranos. I watched like 5 episodes and I got real tired of it. I'm going to look at who Furio is. I'm looking him up right now. Fuck you guys. I hope he's a good looking guy. I'm not trying to get roasted right out the gate. This could be make or break for me. Listen, I don't like that comp. I don't like it at all, but we'll take it. We'll take whatever type of fucking shit you guys want to say to me. Okay, somebody said he's a tanking team and he has 4 2022 firsts and 5 2023 firsts. You can ask a question. That's cool. You look like Aaron Rodgers' son. No, I don't know what that means. You guys are wild. I owe nobody any type of hardcore drugs. I do not condone the usage of any of it either. Thoughts on Miles Sanders? Okay, so tonight, Mike Me Up, and I are actually recording a 2-person episode, kind of running it back. It's going to be quick, but we're going to be debating Miles Sanders. So I'm not sure when that's going to be out. Might be Thursday. What's today? Wednesday? Might be Thursday, might be Friday, but we're actually doing like a 2-person video. So we will actually have a video talking Miles Sanders. I personally, not the biggest fan. I know Mike likes him a little bit, so there should be a good debate to be had there. We're also doing the narrative, so every other week we'll have videos like that. Might ramp it up more as the offseason goes along. We'll see, but that will happen, so stay on your toes. Biggest redraft running back steal in your opinion? I look like fantasy football Jesus. Thank you. I really haven't looked too much into redraft ADP right now. I was a huge Brandon Cooks guy until Deshaun Watson decided to do whatever he wanted to do in his free time. Now I'm not so much of a Brandon Cooks guy. Off the top of my head, I like Chase Claypool. I like Chase Claypool because people like Deontay more, and I think Deontay is probably going to be a little bit worse than Claypool because Claypool is efficient on less targets. I think that might flip-flop or at least even out a little bit, and I think the efficiency is going to make up for the volume disparity there. If I could trade Aaron Jones, what would you get for him full PPR? Listen, I'm a huge Aaron Jones fan, just signed a long-term deal. If Aaron Rodgers is there, he's currently like my RB7. If he's gone, it's going to be a lot tougher to have him as high as I have him right now. But honestly, he's one of those guys I'd want multiple firsts for. They don't have to be elite. But if you were to trade from like this year, I would need like at least the 105 and like a 110. So if you're trading further out than that, get like 2 firsts or get like a younger guy. Maybe trade down to like Cam Akers in a first or Cam Akers in a second. I'm fine with that either way. Dude, I don't have any 8 balls to give you. I don't know. Is Furio like a drug dealer? I haven't watched Sopranos. If he is, then I understand these comments. If not, then I want this rap of me being like a hardcore addict to disperse. My thoughts on 4 2022 firsts and 5 2023 firsts. I really don't know too much about the 2023 class. 2022 I know has pretty good wide receivers, whether it's Pickens, Treylon Burks, Justin Ross if he ever comes out of college, Olave, Garrett Wilson. So you're looking good there. There's quite a few good quarterbacks too. I think like Keaton Slovis, Malik Willis I thought was going to be good and coming out this year. Who else? Sam Howell. There's quite a few guys. So you're definitely stacked for the future. Anytime you can have more than like 2 firsts, you're set up very, very well. Trade Dak for Teddy B. Adams in a 2022 first. Teddy Bridgewater has no value. So you're basically trading Dak for Devontae in a first. It's not unfair, but it's probably not a deal I would do if I need a quarterback. Like if Dak is your quarterback, or if you have 3 quarterbacks and Dak is like your 1 or 2, I'm not making that trade just because I prioritize quarterbacks. Who's right about Deontay, you or Nick? I guess we'll have to wait and see. There's a difference of opinions there. Listen, for his price, I'm not a big fan. I'm not going to never draft Deontay. If he's like outside the top 25, then maybe I'll dabble. But right now, not looking good. Tight end premium. Or you think Antonio Gibson could finish top 10 or not? Yeah, I do. I'm a huge fan of Antonio Gibson. I'll probably do a video on him. You got to keep me honest, though, because like I keep saying I'm going to do videos and I just don't make them. So I apologize on that front. But listen, we're live and direct and we're doing other type of shit. But I do think he can finish top 10. I'm a big fan of him. You know, Rivera's around. They got a decent quarterback now, somebody that has more than one leg and also like their brain's working. So that could be good for the team. I like where they're heading. Their defense is real good. If he gets used in the passing game like I think he should, it's going to be real solid for the boy. 1.5 tight end premium, late tight end flyers, startup dynasty. That's tough because even if it's 1.5 tight end premium, like a lot of those late flyers still don't catch passes. They're still touchdown dependent, and that doesn't really matter for that premium. Like that premium doesn't boost up the touchdown numbers. It boosts the reception numbers. So if you're looking for like late flyers, listen, what I'd say is like go for Jared Cook. He's only going to give you like 1 year of viability, but he's on the Chargers. They lost Hunter Henry. That team is whatever. I hate the Chargers. I love the Chargers. He can give you 1 good year in like the 15th, 16th round. I also don't hate Hayden Hurst if they trade Julio Jones. Listen, he's not great, but I'm not so sure. You know, if Kyle Pitts doesn't come out the gate swinging and isn't super hot, then listen, Hayden Hurst could have a decent enough season. But I think even if Kyle Pitts is good, if Julio's gone, Hayden Hurst has enough opportunity to catch like 40 to 50 passes. Doesn't sound good, but in half a tight end premium or 1.5 tight end premium, that's good. Gabe, I saw you just traded Chase Edmonds for Curtis Samuel and Gabe Davis. Give me the Curtis Samuel side. I'm not the biggest Chase Edmonds fan. So you have Burrow and T-Law. You have good quarterbacks. I would still keep Dak in that case. Thoughts on Mixon for Sermon and Amari Rodgers. Listen, I will slander Joe Mixon any day of the week, but not to that extent. Give me Joe Mixon in that deal. Should I trade Gaskin to a contending team to gain pick/youngsters? Yes. In your tanking? Yes, 100%. Gaskin, if you went on Madden and you just bumped everybody's running backs ratings to like 57. I don't really know what like Madden ratings are, but you know, it's like a little bit above average. That's Myles Gaskin. He's like a 57 in every category. Speed, vertical, burst, lateral agility. It's all there, but not in spades. He's just a jack of all trades, master of none. I don't think he's good. And I'm not so sure that, you know, they came out that Tua didn't know the fucking playbook. Like, you're starting quarterback, bro. Learn the fucking playbook. Glad the Chargers didn't take him because apparently he can't read. But I'm not so sure that the offense is going to be where we want them to be. And also Myles Gaskin, my issue with a lot of these guys is the argument is they're the only guy in town and they had all the opportunity last year. But these assholes don't do shit with the opportunity. So you really think the coach is going to give them those opportunities again, knowing that nothing's going to come of it? Probably. It might happen, but I'm not willing to bet on it repeating itself. So yeah, trade those for picks. If you can get a first for Gaskin, I'm doing that shit in like a heartbeat. A very quick heartbeat. An abnormally beating heart, I would do it. Let's see what else. Have a guy in my league who wants Chase and Higgins from me. What should asking price be? So if you have Joe Burrow and you got that stack, listen, that price might be a little crazy. But Jamar Chase, you want at least 1 first. T. Higgins, you want at least 1 first. I personally like T. Higgins more than Chase because T. Higgins has done what we want Chase to do on the same team. He's already established. So multiple firsts or a first and then like multiple seconds or something like that. Or trade down at the position. Always, if you can trade down at wide receiver, maybe trade T. Higgins for Brandon Ayuk in a pick. Same shit with Chase. Maybe trade Chase for like Bateman in a pick. That's always a good option. Or even like, I know I don't like the guy, but like Chase for Deontay Johnson in a pick. I'm good with any of those type of deals. Chase for Claypool in a pick or Higgins for Claypool in a pick. Their values to me should be very similar. So one deal, whichever one you can get more for is probably the deal I would take is what I would say. Have I ever done IDP? Thoughts on it? No, I have never done IDP. The closest I ever came to was Eiffel Tower. But I do not think I'm going to ever dabble in that area. The Devonta Smith video was straight fire. Thank you, Kyle. I think, who did that one? I'm going to say Tony did it. Tony DiBiase did that one. So shout out him for the editing on that. Do I buy the Jalen Hurts hype? Listen, I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's going to be good for fantasy. I also don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think that his fantasy value far outweighs his real life impact. And I'm a big fan of him for fantasy because guess what? That boy can he can move. So if you can move, you're good in my book. I'll take him any day of the week. Josh Allen or Justin Herbert for Dynasty. I just did a video on my quarterback rankings. I have Allen ahead of Herbert. But if Herbert puts up a similar year to what he did last year, shows no sophomore slump, or takes like 1/1,000,000th of the leap that Josh Allen did from year 2 to 3, if Herbert does that year 1 to 2, I'm going to be sold. He might be my quarterback 1. No bias, but fully biased. Thoughts on Mims this season? I was a lot higher when they didn't bring in his clone in Corey Davis. I'm still not upset about it, but I really like Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore is the better receiver. I think Corey Davis at this point of his career is the same type of receiver, but better. So my expectations that I had earlier on are being tempered very highly. Whatever. It's being fucking tempered. I'm not there. I'm not where I was. How big should the rosters be for a 10-team Superflex Dynasty trying to start one this year? I'm not the big buy guy. I know Mike has something where it's like 1.5x. So if you have 10 starters, you want 15 bench, and then you get like 5 taxi and all that. So I'd say at least 25 spots total if you want to start 10. Once you get into like round 30, your startup draft, like you're taking Scotty Phillips and all these idiots. So you'll see that you probably think you don't need all those spots, but even then you'll have guys like Darren Waller on your waiver wire in the season. A few years back, you could have picked him up. So there's always space to add decent playmakers. So I just go for like 25. And then you can always like expand it from there because those extra 5 spots like aren't really going to matter too much in the long run. Dalvin Cook for the 105 and 2 future firsts. Got an orphan team and it's very bad. Yeah, if you're not in a spot to win, I would do that in a heartbeat. Dalvin Cook is incredible, but he got like 1 to 2 years left. He's always injured. If you can get 3 firsts for Dalvin, take it. To circle back to your heartbeat reference, it's called a PVC, premature verticular contraction. I'm sure there's other things like heart murmurs and stuff, but I appreciate that you throw out an acronym and wrote it out for me, so thank you. Thanks for the great FF advice, FB God. You must not be talking to me or about me because my advice is garbage. Check my pinned tweet. In a rebuild, what would you trade Michael Thomas away for? I sound like a broken record. A first and then more on top, or just trade down to the position and get a younger receiver. Michael Thomas is like sneaky old, like 28, 27, 28. Either way, he's like 35 in my book. Maybe trade down for like Jerry Jeudy in a first. I know that sounds like not a lot in return, but you get youth on your side. You get the upside of what Jerry Jeudy could be, whereas Michael Thomas is like at or near his peak. And then that first could end up being something good because Michael Thomas is going to sprain his ankle, and whoever you trade the player to, the pick is going to get better in turn because they just lost a stud receiver. Dobbs. I can't read. I'm like real slow with it. Dobbins or Gibson, full PPR Dynasty. Give me Gibson in like almost every format. How is the class of 22? How many top prospects do you see in that class? I haven't dove too deep into it. I'm going to be honest. I don't know shit about the running backs next year. I know that there's quite a few good wide receivers. Traylon Burks, like 6'3", like 230. Real versatile. I like him. Garrett Wilson's good. George Pickens. You've probably seen like all his one-handed catches. Justin Ross is going to be a little bit older, but I'm pretty sure he's like decent analytically. A few guys I'm forgetting, and there's quite a few good quarterbacks. So I know quarterback and wide receiver is pretty solid. I think the common narrative is running back sucks, but listen, running back in all these positions, nobody actually like knows anything. So I'm not going to give any definitive statement on it. All I know is people are going to say that next year's class is better than this year until next year comes, and they're going to say 2023 blows it out of the water. AJ Brown for Lamb and a future first. Ooh, I like trading down, but AJ Brown is so fucking good. But I'll do it. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. AJ Brown for Lamb and a future first. Lock that shit in. Join late. Keep or sell Jalen Hurts. Superflex have Mahomes and T-Law. Listen, I keep them if you can. If you have an offer on the table you can't refuse, shout out Godfather, go for it. But if Scott's in your league and he's trying to prime away from you, rule number 1, don't accept the trade because he's probably trying to bend you over. Real crazy. If you had to keep one and no one is biting on trades, Edmonds, Chris Evans, or Khalil Herbert. If you had to keep one, like Chase Edmonds, yeah, give me Chase Edmonds. Chris Evans is a fraud. Chris Evans is a bona fide fraud. Khalil Herbert is a bona fide fraud as well. You're so torn on keeping Chris Carson, but I'm only getting trade offers for second round rookie picks on him. How long is Carson going to last? Probably like 12 weeks for 2 straight years. I would keep him at that price tag. I mean, if you're a competing team, he's going to give you more value than whatever a second is going to give you most of the time. What up, Benny Blanco? How you doing? Would you give up 2 firsts for Swift? I probably would. I don't like the situation. He's in Detroit, which you can say like, oh, the franchise changes, coaching changes. It doesn't change. They brought in fucking Anthony Lynn and they have Dan Campbell. They have a coach who talks about biting off kneecaps, and he goes to a backfield where they only bring in running backs that don't have kneecaps because Dan Campbell probably already bit them off. It's not a good situation. I don't like what's going on in Detroit. Ever since Joik Bell started trotting around there, I knew shit was awry. Ever since Javid Best played like 1 game in the NFL, I knew shit was acting up. I'm not a fan of Detroit. Nobody's a fan of Detroit. Not even Joakim Noah. So no, I'm not going to tell you to go out and not do that deal. I would trade 2 firsts. I would trade Swift and get 2 firsts most of the time, unless the team that the picks you're getting from, like if the team that has the first is real solid and then the other first is from another solid team and you know they're going to be back into the first, I'd probably be hesitant, but most cases I'd probably take it. Mike Davis for Paris Campbell in 2:22 seconds. It depends where you're at. If you are competing heavy, I'd probably just keep Mike Davis. If not, yeah, just give me the capital and the player. I also don't think Mike Davis is that good. I think he had a few good games because he was fresh and he was like in an offense built around a running back that they were going to give 30 touches a game. They're like, oh, you're fat. Let's see if you can handle it. He did for like 3 weeks, and then he wasn't all that great the rest of the season. So, yeah, give me the picks if you're not competing right now. You traded Josh Jacobs in the 111 in a super flex for Justin Herbert. Feeling pretty good. Yeah, Joe, you should feel good. You showed that kid the 50 states. Didn't even forget Hawaii either. Swift missed games last year due to migraines. Scared me away from him. Percy Harvin, anyone? I don't know. I'm no doctor. I'm just like Tommy Boy. 7 years in college, no degree. But I don't know. I don't read too much into like migraines or any of that stuff. I give myself a headache enough of the time. Yeah, circling back to Joe. Anytime you can get Justin Herbert and you can get a guy who's like 1 letter away from sharing your last name on your dynasty team, written in the stars. Carson for a 2021 second and Michael Carter. How would that work? Isn't Michael Carter already a 2021 pick? How would you get the second and Michael Carter? Or is like a guy on the clock and you know you're going to take Carter? Nah, give me Chris Carson. Michael Carter's a fucking bum. And the 2021 second is probably also a bum if Michael Carter went before him. It's going to be like Kadarius Toney and him. So I'm going to pass. Trying to rebuild an orphan team and Mike Davis is not going to help with that. Yeah, if you're rebuilding an orphan, get rid of Mike Davis, get those picks in Paris Campbell. Okay, 2022 second. Still give me Chris Carson. I mean, Michael Carter. It's too close to Michael Carter Williams for me to be confident in him being good at all. But in all honesty, yeah, just give me Chris Carson. If you're not competing and you're somewhat rebuilding, I guess take the capital, but it's tough. It's not really much there. Is Jalen Reagor dead? Is anybody in Philly? Can we get confirmation if Jalen Reagor still has a pulse? If he does, then I know he's not dead. If he doesn't, then RIP. Startup strategy. Trade down, up. Any trends you have seen last year to this year? I haven't done any startups this year. My pockets are not deep enough to have that luxury. Everybody always says trade back, and that's like not a strategy because once everybody does it, nobody does it. Like if everybody's trading into the 6th, nobody's trading into the 6th, and the person that has like 4 first-round picks is probably going to end up winning your league. You just got to feel it out. You just got to draft as you may. And also, like, I'm going to be real. Dynasty is going to be counterproductive, counterintuitive to be like on a Dynasty fantasy football advice channel and tell you that there's like no real strategy. To be good at Dynasty, you just got to have a lot of time. Like, nobody's innately good at Dynasty. They just spend a whole bunch of time sending out trades and taking advantage of people that aren't as good or not spending as much time as they are. That's what I've seen, at least in my leagues. Like, if you're playing with a bunch of people that are new, you're going to win. If you play with a bunch of people that don't really care and you care a whole bunch, you're going to win. So I say all that to say, and don't get caught holding the bag, as people say. Point I got to make about what you just said. Mike Davis was fresh. Every single year running back comes in late, fresh as fuck. Had a great season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, especially Mike Davis, too. Listen, I'm not in the best shape in the world, but Mike Davis can't be talked about like he is any fucking macho man. He went out there, he got gassed real quick. So I'm not buying into him being some sort of like RB1 all season, because if he was, he probably would have had like a very good year all year. He was put into the CMC role and had like a good month and then started to fizzle away. Jonathan Williams, Mike Davis. Yeah, Jonathan Williams had like 2 of the best games any running backs ever had in their entire life, and then he just disappeared into the night. Tony, get the fuck out of my chat right now. How did Scott Sexy Pats and Yannick let me get 5 running backs? You have no quarterbacks. Unless you start running some wishbone offense with Antonio Gibson playing his 4th position and like the fiddle, there's no chance that you're going to win that league. And it's tough too because you're wasting so many good running backs' careers on your shitty squad. Just trade him away. Just give him to Scott. Let him show you the 50 states. It doesn't have to be hard. You just got to accept what you are. And right now, you're his little puppet. He's got you like Geppetto. And he's just playing you right now. He just added Jonnu. So the trade is on Mixon for Trey Sermon, Amari Rodgers, and Jonnu. Damon, can you... I don't want to sound like an asshole. Just please don't take that. Please don't take that. The more shitty players he adds, the more disrespect it shows you. This guy does not respect you as a human being, as a fantasy football analyst, player, anything. He's adding Jonnu Smith to deals. That's when you know the tables have turned and he no longer respects you as a man. In your opinion, which 2021 rookie quarterback busts? For fantasy, like Mac Jones because he can't run. And I'll say Trey Lance just because everybody thinks he's incredible, and I do too. But, I mean, once I think a quarterback's good, they probably suck. And when I think they suck, they'll be good. So take that with a grain of salt. Mooney and Kmet this year, where would you rank them at their position? Mooney, probably, and honestly, like wide receiver 60. Probably going to finish like wide receiver 43, but at that point, he's basically wide receiver 60. Kmet, I know Animal's a huge fan, but I think he's a fan because he could fit him into a rhyme scheme. Probably like tight end 15. And at that point, again, doesn't really matter. I'm not huge on anybody in Chicago other than, actually, I'm big on a few guys like A-Rob and D-Mont, maybe even Justin Fields, depending on when he starts playing. Am I scared of Swift's situation? I feel like there's a huge spectrum. You could put it that way. Yeah, with the coaching staff being Anthony Lynn and Dan Campbell, calling it a spectrum would be the most fitting way to describe them. I'm not afraid of it, but I know what the likely outcome is, which is why I'm going to stay away. Can't sell Mike Davis yet. Have to let him have that good game in week 1 or 2, then cash in. A lot of people say that, but then like everybody says that, which means everybody knows that. Nobody's buying fucking Mike Davis after his 3rd 11.5 point outing, thinking that he's be the best wide receiver or fucking running back in the league. Earliest you take Kyle Pitts in a Dynasty startup, 101, whole lot of conviction. But if it's not tight end premium, probably like 5th round. If it is tight end premium, probably like 3rd round. What's up, Nave the human? I gotta leave in like 10 minutes, so just a heads up. Just a heads up. If you're in here and you're enjoying, please leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Leave a thumbs down if you're listening too. Love to see the numbers just spike. Thoughts on Laviska? Here's my thing. I love Laviska. Here's the other thing. Doesn't matter who I love. This coaching staff went out and tried to draft Kadarius Toney, who is just a smaller, worse version without the type of hair that Laviska's got. And then because they couldn't get Kadarius Toney, guess what? They went out and they got fucking Travis Etienne. So it looks like they have different plans. It looks like they want to find the replacement for Shenault when they got Shenault right there. They're looking for what they already got. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Laviska's going to play out his rookie deal. They're going to be like, shit, we need a guy like Laviska. He's going to go to like the Texans and kill it, and they're going to be real sad about it. So I say all that to say I'm super high on Laviska this year, and I don't care what the coaching staff does. Out of the late round darling tight ends that people are talking about, Jonnu, Troutman, Ferkser, Kmet, Herndon, who's hitting, who's busting. I'm busting right now. I don't like any of them. Kind of like Ferkser, just because they have nobody there. I'm also not convinced they go throughout the rest of the offseason without adding a weapon, namely Julio Jones. But not a huge fan of Jonnu. I just don't think that offense is going to be good. And I think Hunter Henry is the better pass-catching tight end. Jonnu is definitely more versatile, but he was in an offense last year built around Yak, and he still couldn't get consistent usage. I'm not so sure that the Patriots are going to be imaginative enough to use him in the right capacity. I would say Ferkser just because he's like halfway decent. We saw him have like a few good games last year, and there's nobody in Tennessee to take the ball away. Why does Noah look like Brandon Lee from The Crow? Are you heading to a 9 Inch Nails concert later? Whatever. I don't know what's going on anymore. Traded Tyreek for Herbert in a second. Feeling good. I'd feel good too. Superflex 910 and Premium. Would you trade or would I take Devonta Rashad Bateman, even though he catfished me, or Mac Jones 10th overall in a rookie draft? That's tough. It's real close between, honestly, all three of them. And I'm going to be a bitch and kind of cop out. But it depends where your quarterback situation is. If you need a third quarterback, go Mac. If you don't, shit, roll the dice. Go Rashad Bateman. He can't fuck me over twice. Or can he? Someone in my Dynasty League dropped Jamar Jefferson yesterday, so I picked him up for $5 and threw him on my taxi squad. I hate that move, Ben. I hate Jamar Jefferson. Justin wants to know my Jamar Chase rookie year projection. Okay, I guarantee he will finish between 0 and 150 receptions, 0 and 1,800 yards, and 0 and like 2 touchdowns. I think he's not going to score many touchdowns. Chubb Cook. I got them both. Yeah, give me Saquon there. I'll take Saquon between those two, Tony. What's the best way to evaluate if you think your team will be a contender or not? Trying to be realistic. Look at what you got. Look at what other teams got in the league and say, hey, my team is better or worse than them. Count on your fingers how many you're better than. And if you're like top 5 or 6, you're contending. And if you're not contending, you should probably just blow that shit up. In a Dynasty startup, late rounds, who should I take? McCole, Eskridge, Aguilar, T.Y., Slayton, Beasley, Tylan Wallace. Give me Aguilar. I'll take Aguilar there. McCole can't catch. Actually, neither can Aguilar. That's like all he's known for. Eskridge is mad old. T.Y. Hilton's old. Darius Slayton kind of sucks. Beasley's old. Tylan Wallace isn't going to catch a pass because his quarterback won't throw him. What's my long-term outlook on Jalen Hurts? I am a big fan. Thanks for asking. I think he's solid enough to win the team games. He's not going to be, he might be an MVP. I can't say that. But as it looks right now, he doesn't seem to be like any world-changing quarterback. But Derek Carr's got a job like 7 years into his run in the NFL. So you don't have to be the best quarterback in the league to continue to have a job. I'm a pretty big fan of the kid. He can run. He can wiggle. And I guess that's the analysis you get around here. He can run and wiggle. Look at me. Just doing the do. Most underrated player, me. Throw me out there. 6'4", unknown weight. Not so long of arms. Not overly fast, but I get the job done. But to seriously answer your question, anybody on the Chargers, namely Jalen Guyton? Jalen, yeah. Or Tyron Johnson. We have unlimited years for taxi squad players in that league, so I can let guys marinate. The only thing marinating on Jamar Jefferson is his ACL, and it's like halfway off his knee already. One of my leagues, you have A-Rod and Adams, but in contending, what should I do? You have A-Rod and Adams, and you're contending. What should you do? Keep them and hope that they're on the same team again this year. Not much you can do. Akers, Dobbins, or Taylor? I would rank them Taylor, Akers, Dobbins. Oh, Tony with another hard-hitting question. Gibson or Dobbins? He's got them both. Give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire in that situation, Tony. But good question. Where was Jalen Hurts in my quarterback rankings? Last year? Who was in last year's class? Herbert. He was 4 behind Herbert. Herbert was 3. Tua was 2. Was he 2? Yeah, probably. Joe Burrow was probably 1. And this year, he's probably my quarterback. I just did a video on it. 13, 12, 13? I don't know. Why aren't you in a new Dynasty League Nick put together? You're definitely better than Senate. Senate, I hope you're here, you little asshole. No, I don't have anything against Senate. Listen, Joe. Oh, wait. Koenig. Ooh, that came out crazy. I think your name is also Tarek. Tarek, you're trying to get me canceled with your name. I don't appreciate that. But yeah, I wasn't invited. I wasn't a Patreon member. I just help with a Patreon. I don't pay for it. Biggest sleeper pick for running back, wide receiver, and quarterback this year. Running back, Phillip Lindsay. Wide receiver, Nico Collins, quarterback. Davis Mills. Just stack the Titans or Texans, whatever team they're on. Is next year's class kind of trash like this year? It is, Drew. I'm not going to sell you any false sense of hope. I know they're old, but what do you think I could get from Mike Davis and Kenny Drake? Kenyon Drake, you can probably get like... Shit. I told somebody like an AARP card. There's not much you can get for Kenyon Drake. Mike Davis, you can probably get like a few seconds for him. Tony, we get it. You got 4 or 5 RB1s. Name one man that can throw a ball on your team. All right, I got to go soon. So if I see any more questions, I'll answer them. If there are no more questions, I'm not going to. I appreciate you guys stopping by on this random stream. I appreciate that we have 51 people who just aren't doing anything at 4:16 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Really love that the audience that we keep is one that'll just pop up wherever I show up. I like doing these live streams, so maybe I'm not going to make any promises, but they might keep happening. Now, for running backs, PPR Dynasty, Gurley. Oh, fuck. What? Gurley, Jonathan Williams, Cohen, McKissick, Penny, Hawkins, Mack, Lindsey, Jefferson? What? The fact that you started that with Todd Gurley means I'm not gonna acknowledge what you said. Just give me JD McKissick. If I was starting a franchise, what running back do you want for your team? I was gonna say like Josh Kelly to be funny, but it's not funny. It's played out. Honestly, maybe Antonio Gibson. Real Swiss Army knife-like. Or Cam Akers, just because I like the guy and I heard he doesn't tip pizza men. Worth picking up Jared Dokes or nah? Nah, I guess, if you have a taxi squad. I traded Adams and J-Rob for Sanders, Terry, and a 2023 second. I'm not there emotionally to support you, but I'm here physically to support you. Backwards, who cares? What is Josh Jacobs worth? I'm thinking of throwing him on the block. I was never a fan of Josh Jacobs. Actually, I was until like this past year when I owned him. I'm like, this guy sucks every fucking week. So I would trade him for a late first or an early second. I just want him gone. Enjoy my dark poetry session tonight. Listen, I cry myself to sleep with my own haikus. Josh, I know you're a Cleveland Browns homer. That's why I want Dontrell Hilliard and the guy who does mahi fishing, whoever you guys had last year that had like one good game. D'Ernest Johnson, give me him. Was told Chase was worth Terry, M, and 2 firsts. Thought this was hysterical. Yeah, I would take Terry McLaurin and 2 firsts. Okay, I really got to go now. I'm going to answer these last few questions. I got to stop doing this, but okay. What is he saying? Last year I traded MT for JT in a 2021 first. They called you crazy. Yeah, they're not crazy, or you're not crazy. They are. Rank these players in Dynasty. Stidham, Rose, and Flacco. You got the perfect order, buddy. Stidham, Rose, and Flacco every day of the week in terms of who what's his name? In terms of who John Elway would lead his franchise with. All tall, all white. Got Chubb, JT Swift, and Gibson. Which running back should I get a handcuff for? Shit. Get handcuffs for your girl, man. Don't get them for your fantasy team. All right, that's it for today. I'm going to dip out of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I also appreciate that people clicked on a stream that just said fantasy football good for SEO. I'm just going to keep running with it. But that's all we got. I'll catch you guys sometime soon. Video sometime this week. No promises, but promises will be made either way. Peace out.